Our top story tonight, some going down in November.
Wars, spending.
There has got to be something big a-brewing.
They're using geese to guard prisons in Brazil.
Does Biden know what Mexico
policies.
is? Would you scare Joe Biden? What are we laughing at?
I think Billy Mays was real.
I'm a world-class skeptic.
I don't know anything about Hunter Biden. I don't know who's big into cocaine and laptops. Why is that our problem?
Complete, absolute incompetence. Like, who funds the news?
It's a freaking inside job, man. That the entire world's a stage and everything's fake.
Welcome back to Touch Me Tuesdays on the Veritas Road, where we talk about the things that touched me this week, and hopefully we can touch you too. Carson back in the studio with John on this very nice Tuesday here in Tennessee. First things first, folks. If you like the show, please give the show a like. Press that fucking thumbs up button. Give us a follow. It does help the show. Also, for our folks who like to regularly listen, we do have a stream with Jules coming up on March 28th with Grey Pilled. We're very excited about that. And then if you want more of the show, if you like it and you want a little bit more, go check out the Patreon. We have our early bird special running at 33% off. That's right, Illuminati confirmed, 33% off until March 1st. That early bird special will get you all of our, I forgot the tier name, but all of those benefits. John, I can't remember the tier name. Do you remember what it's called?
No.
Okay. So it'll get you all of those benefits.
They're very sad because we created all these like
6 days ago or something. Yeah.
I'm retarded.
Yeah. So it'll get you all those benefits. You'll get bonus streams. We've got a surprisingly good amount of bonus content planned. I don't even know if we can deliver on it all, but we're going to try. So that'll be coming that way. We got a bonus up there right now with Tyler Garrison. That one was excellent. Even if you are too poor to afford the Patreon, go look at the preview on YouTube. It's somewhere, I'm pretty sure. Go check it out. Tyler is a phenomenal human being. That episode was fantastic. He has a lot of good things to share. So even if you're poor, go check out the video on YouTube as much as you can. So, am I missing anything, John?
No, just go and check out the stream that we did yesterday from Danny from the
that's right. Yeah.
That was it was a great show.
Yeah, that was a good time.
And go check that out if you want to catch it on all of our audio platforms and all that good shit. It should be up this weekend after I do the YouTube approved editing.
Right.
To bleep out all your swear words.
Yeah, it was mostly me yet again, but it's fine. It's fine. We're all fine. All right, so kicking things off tonight, I'm sorry, we're trying to be more regular. Well, hopefully this is the last time I will apologize for the fact that we haven't been streaming as much because I did a pull-up and pinched a nerve. But I feel like I need to mention that at least one last time. We missed a stream or two there because I am a faggot. So I'm trying to get my uterus back in check. And you'll be hearing from us more often moving forward. So speaking of people with uteruses, some fat fuck in some school punched a kid, and it's been like especially in liberal circles, like this kid is a hero. This is just a fully retarded interaction. So some dweeb was walking around with an I Love Ice poster, right? So already, like, some kid is walking around school with an I Love Ice poster. Not the best way, probably, to find friends in most public schools, I would guess. There are a lot of different colors of people there who probably aren't going to love you very much walking around with a poster like that. But, good for him. He's standing up for what he believes in like a fag. So good for him. He's standing up for what he believes in. And then this morbidly obese Ninja Turtle gets very upset. And let's play the video, John. Walks up, and this it's entertaining watching an obese kid attempt to punch somebody.
Is your laptop muted?
No.
Turn that off because that's going to drive.
Is that better?
Yes, that's way better.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad. He does look like Peter Griffin. Somebody mentioned that he looks like Peter Griffin. He looks like the child Down syndrome version of Peter Griffin. So let's see what happens.
I don't know what's crazy about this.
Yeah, I'm going to punch you.
You're gonna punch me?
Yes.
And you're gonna get in trouble for that.
Okay.
Whoa. Chill out, bro. I stand for my beliefs. I'm gonna peacefully stand here and support my beliefs. I support ICE and law enforcement.
Peacefully fuck yourself.
Whoa, that's against school code. No swearing in the school.
They're on their way there right now. We also have students walking out of the building as well, starting their protest.
I support ICE and law enforcement. Am I allowed to stand here?
You are allowed to look for
Okay. I'm allowed to have this sign too,
You're
like everyone
allowed
else?
to have
Okay.
be part of the protest.
I
Okay.
just stand-
First of all, that kid's two moms are probably so proud of him. Like, both of his moms are probably very proud of him attempting to punch another human being holding an ICE poster. And I think you don't get any better than that. But it's these kinds of interactions that make me almost miss high school, because when you grow up, right, and when you pretend to be an adult, all of this shit gets muted. But things like this used to be fun. You used to walk down a hallway with a sign that meant nothing to you or anything else, and some other kid would get pissed off about it and try to punch your dick off. And that is one of the things that I think honestly makes America great, because these are the kind of children we're raising, and I think that's fantastic. This honestly kind of gives me hope for the future. The fact that this kind of very healthy bullying interaction is still happening in schools. I feel this is the first time I've felt hope for future generations, probably in a year. It warms the cockles of my heart that this fat Peter Griffin with two moms tried to punch some dweeb ass fucking ROTC kid in the dick. I think that's great. Like, I like that this is still happening. It makes me proud of America. Everybody talks about feeling patriotic, okay? All these wieners in politics, talk about how great this country is. Fuck all that. Fuck nobody cares about any of the military stuff that's going on, any of the standing up. This is the stuff that makes this country great. This is the stuff that makes me proud to wave the flag. I love it. John, do you have any thoughts on this very heartwarming moment that was shared between these two young future Americans?
I'm like 80% convinced that this is not real. Like, this has to be like just a very good AI written bullshit.
Right.
That was the most cringy and corny display of dialogue that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. And it happened so quickly too.
Yeah.
Like, this is not real.
I mean,
That has been written by something.
that kid went from zero to full-blown faggot in no time at all. It was amazing. And that's just the lack of self-control that makes me very happy. I enjoy seeing that. It's fun. This is what makes the news fun. I mean, yeah, say what you want. It makes the news fun. And
So I don't know. It's like they created a really bad version of that. I don't care. You broke.
that's
the
exactly
elbow
yes.
line.
That's what I was about to
That's
get
what
to.
I
Yes.
think that they made here. I think that's what they got inspired by, because
It does seem
I
like
feel
it.
like that's what they were coming from.
Yeah, and this is about as poorly staged as that too, which I like. Again, just somebody stop trying very hard, and it's phenomenal. Just God bless America. God bless these two young men. I hope they both go on to lead the exact same lives they're leading now. Like I hope they're exactly the same in 20 years. So yeah, I thought that was a fun one to open the show with. We can go ahead and move on. So the FAA we have a couple of things about the FAA. Actually, they're making some waves this week. They're deciding the news is about too much about Pam Bondi. They want in on the action. Can you get rid of that giant Alex Jones head? They have decided that they're going to affirm merit-based hiring for pilots. Now, folks, listen, I have long been a supporter of the fact that people should be hired on merit, but let me say this. I like it when my pilot has a pussy, and let me tell you why, okay? While the idea of somebody being good with a joystick, great, right, in the air, right? Somebody who's used to handling a dowel rod, if you will, is a good idea, right? Who handles those better than people with pussies, right? And also, if a man is up there flying and there is some kind of failure where he loses both of his hands and maybe both of his, there's no alternate gripping mechanism, right? If a lady pilot that happens to occur, okay, and there's some fluke tragedy where some Arabs with box cutters cut off a couple of her limbs. Maybe there's no other way to fly the plane. She can disable them and then fly the plane with her pussy, which is why I think this was, it might not be the best move for the FAA. You know, a lot of planes are gonna go down because of the lack of vaginal air control, if you will, and I'm mildly concerned, but I do like that the FAA is coming out and standing up for allegedly what's right and affirming merit-based hiring for pilots. What kind of like bullshit, like I guess like baby boomer attracting, John, are you gonna be okay? Baby boomer attracting headline is this? This is completely, I mean, I get like allegedly there was that whole push of the FAA to, you know, for all their DEI hires, they wanted to hire a bunch of people who were like, you know, brown, lesbian, polygamist, like polytheists, right? Like that was their whole goal for some strange reason, and now they're supposedly going back to merit-based hiring. I get it. We're trying to get the normies in on this. I don't even know who still watches InfoWars. It is very entertaining, and Alex Jones does say some wild, fun shit. Like, I'm not knocking the people who watch it. It's great. It's a great time. That was my introduction to conspiracy theories. Watching Alex Jones slowly lose his mind on the Joe Rogan. Like, that was my introduction to this whole world. Fucking love it. But who's still paying attention? Like, we watched, what, like 3 or 4 planes go down that were heavily publicized, like a bunch of retards from Delta Air flipped the plane upside down. Everybody was fine, which, let's talk about how weird those stories all were. Like, all one right after another, a bunch of planes going down. This whole thing seems weirdly scripted to me, especially how much the FAA is in the news right now. Like, we've shifted from all this, like, AI talk. I don't know why these seem similar to me. We've shifted from all this, like, AI data center talk, and we're having a bunch of weird like disclosure talk, and the FAA seems to be kind of strangely linked to this. We're about to get in it, but I into that, but I think this is an interesting, just such a weird headline. And I love the idea of, like, before reading this headline, there were some blue-haired lesbians out there, or maybe some faggot guy who was pretending to care about women's rights to get laid, who were just like, my pilot has a pussy and I'm proud. And I like the idea of that. I don't know why. I find the idea of that very entertaining. John, do you have any thoughts on this before I talk myself into getting canceled?
Too late for that.
Your mic is not hot.
Sorry, I said too late for that. I lost myself in that rant there a little bit.
Sorry, buddy.
There is this weird push over, and I've noticed it's not just like commercial planes. It's like there've been a lot of these like private plane crashes. They've been kind of pushing into the news as well.
Yeah,
there's this weird push to kind of instigate a fear of flying. It kind of seems like.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're trying to like decrease travel to places or what, but that is a weird trend that's happened for like the past 6 months, because I had like those 3, one in Canada. Obviously, this is linking back to that one in DC where the helicopter pilot crashed into that American Airlines jet on runway 33, or landing at runway 33 in Reagan National.
It's not weird at all.
But yeah, there is a weird push for that, and I'm not really sure why they're wanting to kind of keep this little narrative alive, and they're kind of doing it real subtly. And something to, I think, kind of pay attention to.
Yeah, and I mean, somebody in the chat mentioned these 15-minute cities, and it seems like so much of what's coming out of, like, you know, national governments and like international hegemony type, you know, governments, like this Board of Peace bullshit and like the World Economic Forum and all that, is all very, very, very directed towards producing this very limited range of motion, which I don't even understand what's completely at the end game of that. But obviously, like, these people want to restrict folks' movement from place to place, which is ironic given all the immigration crises. I think that's kind of a hilarious dichotomy. Like this whole idea of like, we're letting people pour across borders. Everybody's pissed about it, but those same people who are saying they're pissed about it, like Trump's an easy example, right? Like we've got to get the people, we've got to get the illegals. We've got a lot of Browns. I like the Browns. They do a great job of cleaning Trump Tower, but we've got to get rid of them. But we're going to do a wonderful. Elon's built a lot of great cities, a lot of very good cities, and like this weird push towards that style of life for people. It's an odd dichotomy, I think, and it's very clear that they're very heavily pushing towards that. That's one of those areas where I wonder what the end game could be. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that? Because I don't understand like how. I mean, I guess if you limit people's movement that much, people are going to be afraid to go anywhere or do anything, and you're kind of restricting people's ability who have like minds to gather en masse. Because like especially in a lot of these more liberal cities, there are fewer people who are likely to, I don't know. I say there are fewer people who are likely to buck the system, but like, look at what's going on in Minnesota. We got a bunch of people like blowing shit up. Look at what went on with all the like, BLM protests. People were just like, it was pure anarchy out there. So I don't even know what to think about all that at this point.
Yeah, I don't either. I was kind of thinking while you were talking, it's like, we talked yesterday with Danny. I kind of mentioned it feels like they're starting to kind of slowly tear down this kind of societal order that they're doing, and a lot of this like Epstein shit and UFO disclosure, all this other shit is kind of in an effort. The reason it's coming out now is in an effort to kind of slowly wake some people up,
right?
In order to the end to kind of knock down the system that they've established to bring in whatever's coming in behind it.
Yeah,
and maybe there's an aspect of that is like, hey, let's try and limit the people we're waking up, limit their movement so that they don't gather into like one place and start kind of maybe galvanizing into some type of movement or something. There might be an effort to that. It's like, hey, if we're going to kind of pull them out just a little bit above the water, we got to make sure they aren't able to
swim
like
to shore.
Yeah, they're not able to like connect with each other. It's one possible theory. It's kind of the only thing that I can kind of connect with everything else I've been observing. Yeah. But in all honesty, I have no clue. And it's very strange because I haven't seen this before in my lifetime. I haven't seen this weird, bullshit focus on like aviation in mainstream media.
Right. Yeah, it is. It's very strange. And they do. They seem to be trying to induce some sort of weird fear of flying. And I don't think there's a whole lot more to say past that you can say with certainty. Like you can speculate on, why they want to limit people's movement, but that's all it is. It's just speculation at the end of the day. So speaking of the FAA though, they just came out with, and hopefully I linked this in the right place. Maybe I didn't. Is it in the Twitter?
Closing down?
Yeah, that one.
You did not link it in the right place.
Okay. I linked it in the wrong place. My bad. The FAA so I think they've since redacted this moratorium on flights in El Paso, but just before they canceled flights in El Paso and this is the wild part, they canceled flights for 10 days. Let me say that again. They canceled flights for 10 days. When is the last time you went to an airport and they said flights were canceled for more than like 20 minutes because of like a massive winter storm? They canceled flights for 10 days. And in and around this airport, there were a bunch. I mean, I guess we can watch this video here in a second. There were a bunch of like weird lights very shortly before they canceled the flights. And I don't know. It's let's listen to this video real quick.
You guys hear that the FAA just announced the El Paso International Airport is to be closed for 10 days, which doesn't sound like a crazy amount of time, does it? Or does it? Because the last time they closed the airports for 3 days was after the September 11th attacks. Now, live streams, cams are picking up lights in the sky above the airport, and they say it's closed due to special security reasons. Now, you're about to hear the genuine reaction of a pilot hearing the news that they're closing this airport for 10 days. And just listen to his voice, and he's talking to air traffic control.
Delta 1249, are you guys supposed to fly out?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Delta 1249, are you guys departing again tonight, or is this final flight in?
Nah, we're going to a hotel.
Roger. Just be advised, I guess there's a TFR going into effect. Just pass it on to the Southwest and everybody else. At 0630 for the next 10 days, we're stopped, all ground stop.
Okay, ground stop to 0630 for how long?
10 days.
So the airport's totally closed?
Apparently, we just got informed about 30 minutes to an hour ago.
So for 10 days, you guys are not open?
Well, I mean, we'll be here, but no air traffic.
Okay, thanks for that heads up.
Cargo South 120.
Now, with the lights in the sky, the special security reasons shutting down,
Okay.
does this
So, a bunch of lights in the sky, all of this disclosure talk coming up, and the airport shutting down for 10 days. I'm not trying to be like too obvious connecting the dots here, but like, what else do we think this could possibly be? And there's a lot of weird shit that seems to go down in like Texas and the western United States. Why a lot of it seems to focus out there, I don't know. But a lot of weird stuff going on out there. They never shut airports down for that long. Ever. What the hell's going on? It's gotta be... I can't see anything that's not like a little bit disclosure, UFO related, you know? Maybe one of the pilots got drunk and flew into the, you know, the airport Whataburger, but like, what else could it possibly be? John, any thoughts on this?
Seems to me that they're just kind of dangling out a carrot for people to latch onto.
Maybe.
You know?
Maybe. Yeah.
You know, seems very obvious. It's like, hey, we're going to close down this airport and there's a bunch of shit in the sky. Notice it. Like, notice it.
Right.
You know? And I get very, very skeptical of when that happens. It's like, this is probably a big nothing. Like it's like Area 51 kind of. It's like, this is a big nothing burger and doesn't really actually have anything of real significance. It's like, it's something that they want you to notice, you know? Yeah, I don't know. Definitely something to push the disclosure narrative into a higher gear. But that's kind of crazy.
Well, them closing down
Yeah.
the airport for that long?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what's so weird. And part of this almost reminds me of what happened with Roswell just a little bit, in that, like, a bunch of weird lights are seen. You know, it's kind of an odd circumstance. And then they shut it down for 10 days. And then the government's like, no, nothing weird to see here. And then they try to reopen the airport. You know, like, it just seems a little strange in that regard. And to your point about, like, I don't know, all of these things that we're supposed to notice that are big nothing burgers, as you say, I would also wonder there, like, well, sure, I think you're right about like places like Area 51, but I would wonder if either A, you could potentially be correct and there's just nothing going on there, or B, it's almost like a weird power play, and like, we're going to reveal a little bit of this to you, but we have such total control over what's going on here. We're going to ensure this is as far as you're going to get. Like, Area 51 seems like probably a good example of that, and with like all the Boblazar discussion that's out there. Like, sure, we're going to let this out, but what are you going to do about it?
Right. No, and that's the biggest thing that I think people need to be cognizant of, as like more and more of this shit gets out there, whether it be in the UFO narrative or Epstein narrative.
Yeah.
Like, this is given to you by the people who are like propagating this.
Right.
So it's like, what you're discovering is the narrative that they're giving to you.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not something like, you know, we're figuring out like independently. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's something that you got to really be cognizant of, because it's a way, I think, you know, it's a really kind of brilliant strategy that I think they're trying to pull off here, and to kind of deceive the conspiracy theorist, the truther, the critical thinker, whatever term you want to, you know, ascribe to it. It's like they're kind of coming after you right now.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to kind of give you all of these little golden apples, give you these little carrots to follow, right? And then, like, you know, they're yanking the stick in the direction they want to yank it, you know. And I think, you know, something to be skeptical of.
Yeah, and if you're, I'm not saying I'm fully tipped over into that camp, but if you're right about this whole idea of like they're intentionally tearing down the system, they're intentionally waking people up, like, this is a great way to wake people up just enough and then control the narrative that they're being, you know, pushed into. It's a great way to dangle that carrot and then slap a leash on them, and we can lead you literally wherever we want. Like, it's that easy. It's that easy. We've got you bought in now, you know?
Yeah.
That seems to be maybe a strategy they're employing, like just enough disclosure to get you bought in, and then we can literally grab you by the tit and lead you wherever we want.
Yeah, and Still Reserve made a good point. Is they are saying shit that's true. A lot of like obviously like in the Epstein files is a great example.
Yeah,
like most of that shit is probably true.
Right.
But there is a veil of deception that is like wrapped around it in the act of releasing it, in the act of like disclosing it at this time, and like at this moment. They got to have a reason for it.
Right.
Like they're in control of that. Like that's what I don't think, some people in certain realms of like the conspiracy theorist community don't necessarily understand that. Like they are in control of all of that information.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not being forced out of them,
Yeah.
And if they're releasing it now, it's probably true, but there's got to be a purpose behind that. And that purpose is not good because obviously these are not altruistic, truth-loving people who just are out for the good of humanity.
Oh, yeah.
I think anybody who's been paying attention knows that that's not true.
Right.
So, it's something that you've got to pay attention. It's like what I've been encouraging a lot of people. It's like, why? Why now? Why is this happening now?
Yeah. No, I think you make an excellent point. And to that point, let's talk about the circus that has become all of this Epstein disclosure. So, One fact that I think people can't deny, right, is that for a 60-year-old, Pam Bondi's kind of hot, and it's the one right there, John, the one about the Oompa Loompa. But she also looks a little bit like an Oompa Loompa, in my opinion. I think she would do very well in a Willy Wonka remake. But from what we've seen, right, and like you were just saying, the people who are implicated in these files, the people who are, guilty of all these acts of, raping and murdering kids, of doing all of these truly horrible things, the ones who are implicated in these, these files, these documents, these are the people who are handing them to you. These are the people who are saying, here you go, read this. Now, I don't know about anybody else out there, but that makes me a little bit skeptical of why the hell you're handing me this thing that says, oh, by the way, I fucked a kid and I liked a torture video that somebody sent me, Like, that's a very odd thing to do, It's like if your dad sent you a video of him, like, cheating on your mom. Like, nobody's going to do that, right? It'd be weird if my dad did that because he's dead. But, it'd be like if that happened. And so you have to wonder, like, what's the purpose behind this? Why the hell are you sending me? It's like if your girlfriend sent you a photo of a giant black dick, Like, why are you sending me that? You're clearly implicating yourself in the problem. So why are you voluntarily sharing this information with me? And so it's like they're waving this giant black dick in our face and saying, hey, what you going to do about it? And I think it's very well borne out in the circus they're starting to build around these files. Like Pam Bondi's been in the news a lot lately because of these hearings. We're going to listen to a little bit of it and just see how wild things have gotten these days. You may have to turn the volume down on this a little bit, John. These people get very heated. We'll skip around a little bit. I don't want to take up too much time. It's like 6 minutes long. We're not going to listen to all of it. But, yeah, we'll listen to a little bit here. Skip ahead like
people have a right
never
to
mind.
know the answers to this. These are senior officials in the Trump administration. This is not a game, Secretary.
Yes, it is. It's
I'm
definitely
Attorney
a game.
General. My apologies, I couldn't tell.
What a slam dunk.
By
Got her.
2008, we knew that Epstein
All right,
was
skip
a
ahead to
convicted
Pam's
sexual abuser.
response here.
And we now know that Lutnick
didn't see one tweet, not one. I didn't see one tweet when Joe Biden was in office about Bill Clinton. Didn't ask Merrick Garland anything about Epstein, not once when he was.
Weak sauce.
And
Weak sauce.
also, I want the record to reflect that, with this anti-Semitic culture right now,
Okay.
she voted against.
Okay. We'll pause it right here for a second. I just want to break down this argument for the people. Pam Bondi is saying, oh, your guy, or you're saying my guy touched kids? Well, so did yours. So how dare you accuse my guy of touching a kid? Yours did too. That makes it okay, right? My guy fucked a kid. Yours got blown in the Oval Office. Same. Why are we even arguing? Let's all go home, take some adrenochrome, and have a good night. Like, why are we even arguing about this? That's what she's saying. And honestly, like, good job, Attorney General there. It's very, all right, go ahead.
A resolution condemning.
Oh,
He is Jewish. I just want to be clear.
Do you want to go there, Attorney General? Or do you want to go there? Are you serious? Talking about
All right, skip ahead a little bit more, John. Let's hear some more of these people yell and scream. Also, right there, I do like the fact that she's like, you're upset that my guy raped a child and murdered a child? Well, you voted against the Jews. So, that's worse somehow. That's worse.
Which is, will you turn to the survivors? This is not about anybody that came before you. It is about you taking responsibility for your department. And when I
will
reclaim my
continue to
time,
answer.
it is
I'm not going to get in the gutter for her theatrics.
The time belongs to the gentle lady. The gentle lady has 17 seconds.
Thank you. You're not going to answer this question, so let me just
Chairman,
say
I'll
this.
direct it to
What a
you.
massive
No, I'm
cover-up.
answering a question.
Chairman, will you restore her time? The witness is interrupting.
All right, let's go towards the end of the video. Let's hear whoever's yelling now. Yeah, about there. That's probably good.
But if he were part of the Epstein investigation, you wouldn't do anything about it.
Online chat rooms and committed sextortion. Yes,
Sextortion, I like that.
Know in your tiny little district who he
Chairman,
was.
she's embarrassing
He's
you.
about to be.
This is your committee, and she is embarrassing you. It's my time.
Within 40 minutes, you asked me a question. Within 40 minutes, Wexner's name was added back.
Within 40 minutes of me catching.
All right. So, a couple of things here. This woman is allegedly the attorney general of the whole damn country, and her best argument for your president touched little boys and raped and murdered kids is so did yours. This woman went to law school for, like, how long? I guess that's like 4 years or something, 3 or 4 years, allegedly. And her best argument is, well, I understand that my dad fucked and raped and murdered kids, but your daddy did too, and your daddy did it before my daddy, so that's somehow worse, okay? My daddy has a better golf score than your daddy. My daddy has grabbed more women by the pussy than your daddy, so how about you fucking show me what's going on? Yeah, bitch. Yeah. And this is the Attorney General of the United States. Now, the events surrounding her are just comical to watch. It's like kids on a playground. And John, you've said this a number of times, especially on our Tuesday streams, is like, this is clearly fake now. This is clear, like they're obviously tearing the system down, and in comical fashion, in my opinion. Like, what's going on here is not legitimate discourse by any stretch of the imagination, and they're not even pretending anymore. And not to repeat myself, and I know I've said this before, but I liked it when senators would pretend that they didn't beat their wives and rape kids. It made me feel good. At least you're lying to my face, And now it's out in the open. And you couple that with the fact that, like, these people in this audience, who were probably, a lot of them are also somewhere in these files, right, of a bunch of people who have, like, raped and murdered children, are the ones who released it, and they're all arguing. This is such a clear display of theater. The WWE is more real. Me telling women that I have a 12-inch dick is more real than this. It is so ridiculous, and people are arguing about it online nonstop. People are, oh my gosh, you know who else I found in the Epstein files? Yeah, I found your mom, and you know what? She's a big fat slut, and so's your daddy. Like, that's what's going on right now.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Like, Still Reserve made an excellent point in the chat. It's like, hey, we're talking about, like, these people doing, like, satanic, like, ritualistic, sex acts with children.
Mm-hmm.
The proper response to that is to behead all of them.
Yeah,
like no hyperbole detected.
Right,
all of these people should die for that.
Yeah,
and instead, what people are getting invested in is, a 9th grade bitch fight on Judge Judy.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Right? That is literally what that is. And, if you can't see that, like, this is just complete bullshit, and that it kind of I don't even know what to make of it. It's just very clear that like they're ready for this to go away.
Right. Yeah.
Because they're not even pretending that this system is going to legitimately do something about it.
Right.
'Cause they're just going to tell you all of the evil shit that they did and say, well, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And not even on the pretense. Because, it's like, 9/11, there was a pretense that like the system's going to take care of it. Right? They're going to get justice for you. Everyone knows that that's not happening.
Yeah.
Where's the place that you're going to get when everyone knows that that's not happening?
You got to wonder.
Yeah.
And Nefunner reminded me of something. Like, how ridiculous. And I wonder if this is, like, honestly kind of what these people in this position are thinking. Like, again, the attorney general of the country, allegedly, who allegedly went to law school, when she's asked, like, when she's talking about why people are so upset, why people are so pissed off, what she's going to do about it, when after these files are released, she's like, well, the Dow is up 50,000. So what are you worried about? The S&P is up, however much, like $1,000. What are you worried? The economy's good. Why are people upset about child rape and satanic rituals? Why are people mad about that? Why are people upset? I don't understand. And I wonder if on some degree, like, that's legitimately the thought process of these elites. They're like, you pieces of garbage, we gave you a little nice bump in the economy. What are you worried about, bitches? You're fine. You're fine. Let us have our satanic rituals. You're not going to do anything about it anyway. And we gave you a nice little fake bump. Not like this means anything to everyday people. Who is the Dow being up that much affecting, right? Her buddies. Like, it's not even affecting us regular folks. Completely ridiculous. But yeah, it's
yeah,
just,
man. Why is the profane and the vulgar freaking out about this?
Yeah,
it's probably their mindset, because that's what they think of. That's what they think of you.
Right.
It's the terminology that they use to describe you as profane and vulgar.
Yeah.
Right. And it makes you wonder, like, the Dave Smiths of the world, some very smart people, like, why are you still talking about political strategy?
Right.
Why are you talking about that? That is bullshit. That has no bearing on this story whatsoever. Politics has no bearing on this story whatsoever.
Right.
It's time for people to realize that. Like,
Yeah.
it's long past time for people to realize that, and like stop talking about how, Thomas Massey is in there like fighting to get the truth out to people. It's like, no, this is bullshit.
Dude, how many people are slobbing on his Kentucky knob? And it's like, what's going to happen because he, took a stand for the unredacted files in Congress?
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's like all of these people, they literally describe you as profane and vulgar.
Yeah.
That is their view of the general population.
Right.
So their system that they've created to kind of create this little circus show to think that, you're impacting something is not real. This is not real. And it's just like, you gotta, like, I feel like I'm just shouting to an empty void sometimes when I say that, but like, you gotta recognize that at this point,
Yeah.
Because it's like, you cannot still be in that kind of like, oh, this is all political strategy bullshit,
You can't. It took me I think it's I don't know. It took me a long time to realize that, and maybe this is just me trying to make myself feel a little bit less retarded, but it's hard to fight and break that degree of brainwashing. Like, I get why people continue to be invested in it, because like, A, you're conditioned to believe in this sort of thing, and B, it's scary to think of like giving up the hope that this kind of thing can be fixed. Like, that's a scary mindset to have change. That is so uncomfortable. And I get why people, not that I think they should stay stuck in it, wake up to the fact that this whole thing is bullshit and should, come crumbling down. But I understand why they want to hang on,
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to be lied to.
Yeah. That's the brilliant trap of it.
Yeah.
It
is. And I don't know if that's like, a last desperate ploy for a little bit more of that, sweet, sweet comfort.
Right.
Or what it is. But yeah, it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable. And it's just so how ridiculous the system has gotten, how obvious they've made it is so well borne out in this very fun episode of Maury that's displayed right in front of us. Right. You know, because if this were real, okay, if this were real, this is how it would go. Your chair or your chief faggot is like, ma'am, did the president actually fuck, rape, and murder children? And she'd be like, yep, they got a little orange on him because he has a lot of orange makeup on. He'd be like, all right, we're going to murder him? And she'd be like, hell yeah. That's the way it would go if this were real. It's that simple. This is not real. This is fake. She's way too hot to be a real attorney general at 60. I'm sorry. It's just not. No, this is fake. This is bullshit. I don't have a whole lot more to say about that one, except let's talk about people. We can move on to the next one. Let's talk about people who are just having a whooping good time right now. And there's some people who are enjoying what's going on out there. And there is this respectable black man came out and said that he is upset that he was found in the Epstein files and feels like that he's been wrongly accused. So let's listen to what this gentleman has to say. If we can.
In the name of transparency, can you put up my name is in the files? Yes. And what does it say? It says, Whoopi needs a plane to get to Monaco. John Lennon's charity, it should say Julian Lennon's charity, is paying for it. They don't want to charter, so they're looking for private owners. Here's the info. And they give all the information, and they're saying, do you want to offer your G2? Okay.
And it looks like they said no thanks.
Yeah.
So in other words, anybody can be on this list.
Well, this is my point, because I'm telling you, when I tell you people are trying to turn me into, I wasn't his girlfriend. I wasn't.
Yeah, clearly not. You're a man.
Listen, this gentleman here
for him. I was not only too old, but it was at a time, where this is just not. You used to have facts before you said stuff.
But Trump is on the list 38,000 times.
Well, I can't speak to him, but I'm speaking about me because I'm getting dragged. People actually believe that I was with him. It's like, honey, come on. Yeah. Every man that I've ever been with, you've known about him because either the Inquirer wrote it about it. Yeah. Your people wrote about this.
This gentleman here, who is talking about this Epstein list, is alleging that just anybody can be on the list. Let me ask you, John, are you on the Epstein list?
No.
All right. I'm pretty sure I'm not either. So I would say it's probably a good assumption that if you are a gentleman in media who is well known to ride planes with certain people, you've probably, spent a little bit of time around them and maybe, just maybe, done your favorite activity with them, which is satanic rituals. And I like the fact that this charming gentleman, who did a fantastic job in The Lion King, by the way, is defending himself against Epstein. Like, I think it's fun, this whole idea of like, I was only on there once, so that makes it okay. Trump was on there 38,000 times, so fuck him. Like, it's such a ridiculous concept. Like, hey, listen, I just did it the one time. You still fucked a kid. I'm sorry. There's no getting around that. There's no pretending it didn't happen. There's no not looking like you've been taking a shitload of adrenochrome on the daily. Like, you're not convincing anyone. And the fun circus of like, so anyone could be on this list, right? It could be anybody like that. It's great. John, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way what it thought that was going to work. You can't convince people that you're a woman. So it's like, there's no way you're going to be able to convince people that that's a good argument.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. I'm at the point where I'm kind of losing any type of like thought to have on this, because it's just so absurd.
Yeah.
Like, it's just how brazen and open this has become.
Yeah.
And that, you know, now these people are actually like just having to like confront it in their space. It's wild. It's wild to watch all of this burn down.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
is. It is. It's honestly a lot of days it's surreal.
Yeah.
Waking up, and even the whole idea of like the releasing of all these files is borderline surreal. It feels fake, which is what leads me to believe it's as fake as it feels. It does. It feels very surreal seeing all of the shit that's going on, seeing the circus that's surrounding, you know, all of these alleged investigations. They're not. They're just for show. Seeing all the people coming out and talking about like, well, I was on the list, but just because I was at a party with him once and I was close by adjacent to him while I was talking on the phone with my real child trafficker, who's not Jeffrey Epstein, it's somebody else. So I didn't take his kids, and that's fine. I took my, like... It's odd seeing all of this go down. It feels like we're in some kind of weird dream world, and I wonder if that's part of what makes it... I don't know if that's like some kind of weird, not to sound tinfoil hatty, but if that's some kind of weird spell that makes it more palatable to the people, because the weird thing is, like, the regular people who are arguing about this don't think it's real. And I think we can see that borne out in the fact that these sons of bitches who would go murder somebody in their town who they knew was doing what these people were doing, right? Stealing children, stealing young girls, young boys, and performing satanic rituals, raping them, harming them, like practicing legitimate Satanism, right? If people knew that was going on in their town, not only would they be up in arms, there would be an armed mob ready to attack these people, okay? Yeah. And I know that there are some insane, retarded rednecks out there. I've met a lot of them. I live in the South, all right? Nothing against these people. These charming mullets have very little self-control and are very quick to the trigger. The fact that these people aren't marching on Washington is proof that no one thinks this is real. Like, people don't see it as real. And maybe, like, there are pockets of people who realize, hey, this is going on. People were doing this to children. But one of two things is true. There are people, probably like a lot of people in the chat, people like you and me, who are like, yeah, but what the fuck am I going to do about it, right? And there are other people who actually still believe in the system, who legitimately, you know, who think this is true, in quotes, right? Mm-hmm. But they don't. Either that or they have such drastic double standards that it's not even, like, people still, like, there's an air of, I don't know, like, disbelief. I don't know if people are in some kind of weird denial about what's really going on. But, I mean, denial is nothing more than just, like, assuming something's not real for a long time as a result of trauma. And so I think it's borne out how fake these people think this is. Like, they weren't really doing all that. You know, it would take, you know, that old argument of like, how many people would it take to keep this covered up? We talked about this last night with Danny. It doesn't take that many. It really doesn't take that many people to keep this type of shit covered up. But people, it's not hitting home for a lot of folks, even now that it's as public and obvious as it is. You look like you disagree with that. What?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's hit home for a lot of people. I think it's going to be hitting home for a lot of people over the next couple of months. I think that's kind of the point of what they're doing. And I feel like they kind of want people to see it this way. They want to bring people in to like see how their political system is dealing with this bullshit. They want to show them that, hey, this is absurd, right? They're giving you the problem. It's like, hey, you know, they're kind of waking people up to the issues. Like, hey, yeah, all of your elite, all of your politicians are, you know, doing satanic sex rituals with children.
Yeah.
And they're starting to let that be known to the normie populace, because you have to think about it. This really hasn't hit the boomer community yet. Like, this hasn't hit the boomer community in the way it's hit like everybody who's on social media.
I don't know. I guess I haven't really considered them.
It's not hit them yet. And when it hits them, when it starts kind of really pervading through legacy media, starts hitting like, you know, the people who are still reading like town newspapers, then you're going to start having an issue. And like a lot of these people are going to become aware. It's like, oh, like all of these people are doing some messed up shit.
Dude,
and then it's going to be like, hey, what are we going to do about it? And
Right.
they're going to need a savior figure.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's kind of what I think the play is. I think somebody mentioned in the chat, like, to what end? It's
Yeah.
probably where we're at. And, especially as we start getting into alien disclosure here in a minute,
Right.
is like, they're setting up a system to where I think the mass populace are going to need some type of savior figure. They're starting to make them aware of the like degraded situation that society's in.
Yeah.
And now they're going to set up the figure that's going to pull them out of it.
Yeah.
Right. That seems to be maybe what the play's going towards.
That honestly, I think that makes a lot of sense. I would still argue that it just hasn't hit home for most of the, but I think that process makes a hell of a lot of sense because there's no other way to usher in a lot of the things that these folks obviously want to usher in, like with all the disclosure stuff happening. It's very clear there's going to be something of that nature coming, especially if you're on board with like the whole idea, like Trump's going to run for a third term train, right? There has to be a big problem that arises. Maybe this is it. I don't think this is big enough to be that kind of problem, but it may be like the birth pangs of such a thing, right? It may be the birth pangs of like a larger, I would argue fake global crisis that's going to, need some kind of savior to step in to save the day. I mean, we saw that very clearly played out in 2020, just on probably a smaller scale than whatever's headed our way. That
Right.
seemed like a practice run in a lot of ways. We had, all the shutdowns, all the lockdowns, and then thank heavens that fucking long-nosed bitch of a grabbler stepped in and was like, yes, let me tell you, you've got to put on the face diapers. They're very good for you. And it worked. It worked. Not necessarily because everybody believed it, but because everybody was uncomfortable with the idea of not believing it, of not fitting in, of losing their comfort, of losing, the kinds of things they felt were threatened that wouldn't. I can tell you, as a person who didn't give in to any of that bullshit, no part of my life changed.
Mm-hmm.
You were in a similar boat. No, you were in school, weren't you?
Yeah.
Friends of mine were in a similar, like, no real parts of their lives
Technically,
changed.
you were in school too.
I was when it started. I wasn't when it ended. That's a good point.
He was in school for a long time. That's
Yeah.
okay.
But no real parts of people who ignored it, like no real parts of their lives changed, except for the fact that a bunch of just retards were outside running around like insane people. And it feels like just a practice run. Who knows what the hell's coming down the pipe?
Yeah.
That being said, I think it's fun that this charming gentleman, Mr. Whoopi Goldberg, thinks it's okay that his name is in the files. Just to bring us full circle. So, speaking of this Hegelian dialectic type stuff, right? Problem, what is it? Problem, reaction, solution, problem, solution, reaction, something like that. We've seen the ramping up of a lot of disclosure stuff. We've talked a lot about it on this show. And in conjunction with the release of these files, in conjunction with the Board of Peace coming up, we have some weird shit going on out there. And we've got two specific videos I want to watch. This first one that John's pulling up, I think, John, remind me, is this in the Middle East somewhere? Lebanon, maybe? Am I wrong? Do you know? You don't know. Okay.
I have no clue.
That's okay. But people are seeing a lot of strange shit in the skies. And one of these, the tagline was like demonic portals opening up. Who the hell knows what these are? But if you guys are watching, this shit's weird. I don't even know what's going on up here.
What is that light? It's moving again.
And that thing dropped a thing.
Look at how it moves.
Pretty sure this is AI.
It looks like AI.
It's a very interesting AI.
But who knows? I've seen this video a lot of places.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of the problem in this like AI era is who knows what's real and what's fake, right? But there are a ton of videos like this out there. Go to the next one on the Google Doc, John. There's one says supernatural or excellent CGI, and it's linked there. There are a bunch of these videos coming out, whether they're real or whether they're fake. They do appear to exist to kind of drum up people's to get people's focus, people's attention on the whole idea of potential alien presences or alien disclosure. But this one, for me, it's just a skosh more satanic. I guess people can't see it. Is there any way we can zoom in on that, John? If you can like control scroll, make that bigger. Because this one's it's kind of hard to see. So for folks that are watching, I don't want them to like have to miss the whole thing. All right, let's see this.
A man angel. Now, what if I told you that this has been caught before, but many times, and even further, a magazine cover predicted it? This, my friend, is a video of Mothman from like Fox or some kind of news. Quite literally a man with wings. You can watch the full video. Very known piece of film. How do I know he's a fallen angel? He has a day of worship once a year, Mothman Day. And he shows up at the signs of natural disasters. Let's get to that magazine I was telling you guys about. He said the demon or the angel, which is the fallen angel, was seen with a missile. You see it yet? That's right, here they are. Pause this and look at the names on the head. Yo, I'll be darned. This right here is insane. Let me know what you think down in the comments.
Okay. Who knows if this is AI? But it's no fun thinking if this is AI. So let's assume it's not. What the hell is this thing? There's nothing else to say, but what the hell is this thing? And in the context of a lot of this alien discussion, a lot of this disclosure space, one of the things we've heard a decent amount are these things identifying them as themselves as biblical figures, and some of them not so nice. Some of them are claiming to be some kind of God. Some of them claiming to be God. Some others claiming to be maybe not as good entities, right? Now, quite frankly, I don't think really any of them are good entities, but that's a different discussion. You have to wonder, all of this disclosure ramping up, seeing this kind of thing coming down from the sky over the tiny hat country. What could that be? I'm not going to pretend I know. What could that be? Is this just another video to try to get people's attention, try to focus them, the right way? Is this just a little Easter egg that some news channel put out there? Or did somebody catch something? Who knows? John, you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right.
It seems that at a minimum, they are on an effort to at least imitate the best they can biblical prophecy playing out.
Yeah.
They are trying to at least imitate it if it's not actually playing out in real time. So what these things are, I really do not know. Like I can't kind of wrap my head around it.
Yeah.
I know it's not, little green men, Mexican cakes from outer space.
Right.
Because that's all fake and bullshit. But like what it is like I'm not sure. Because it's like I still haven't put my finger on. It's like, hey, are they just trying to like imitate all of this shit the best they can? And it's like, is that what Bluebeam's kind of geared to do?
Yeah.
Or is this like this actually happening in real time? They're doing, if they're imitating it, they're doing a pretty damn good job.
Right.
But yeah, like, and, you know, some sort of demonic entity is like, I don't even know if calling them fallen angels is necessarily correct, because all of the, you know, if you read Enoch, all of the fallen angels are bound in the pit below the earth in Tartarus, and they're not going to be released until the final days, and, you know, that's spoken about in Revelation. So it's some type of weird spiritual force.
Yeah, well, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. I guess the big question is like, what kind of spiritual force is it? And I think the easiest way, it's demonic. It's demonic shit. It's all demonic shit. If they're putting it out in front of you, it's demonic shit. It's just as simple as that. There's no getting around that. There are no, you know, fun. There's no fun pretext to discuss. It's all demonic shit. And the scary thing is, what's going to come down the pipe is demonic shit that doesn't feel like it. Is demonic shit that feels good. Is demonic shit that feels positive, that feels loving, that feels kind, that feels benevolent. And if you know, if you listen to like some of those, what is it, the Bledsoe guy who was talking about like Sophia, there's another guy in France who's talking about these aliens who revealed themselves as Elohim coming down and maintaining control of the earth. Like, those things are not the thing that, at the very least, Western Christianity professes to be like creator and king of this place, right? Those things aren't that thing. They're very clearly not that thing. So why are those the things that are revealing themselves, right? Like, that's the first thing that should, if you're like a real thinking human being who believes the shit that most Western people say they believe, that should really make you uncomfortable and a little bit nervous. And I don't know much about like Christian mysticism. That's not my world. But the fact that these things are coming down and essentially revealing them to be themselves, to be God, is very clearly Antichrist. There's no other way to put it. There's no way to clean that up. It's very Antichrist. And the beings they're connected with are all like, I don't know, like faggot tech CEOs. Why is that? You know?
Yeah.
Why are these the folks they're aligning themselves? There are none of these that are coming down and they're like, you know, I'm gonna go, you know, I'm gonna go meet Owen Benjamin. None of them are doing that, right? They're like, who's the faggot that's in charge of all the technology? Those are the people they're revealing themselves to.
Yeah.
I don't know about, you know, our listeners here, but those aren't the people I want to trust with any part of myself.
No.
My spirit, my mind, and my penis. I don't want them anywhere near those. None of them. Stay the hell away. Stay the fuck away. And speaking of keeping people away from my mind, spirit, and penis, last video, we're going to keep it tight tonight. I don't want to go too long. I feel like we've been exhausting folks with, you know, doing these for like 2 hours. Last one on the Google Doc, John, or second to last one on the Google Doc. Oh, we've got 2 more. My apologies. So we'll do this and then we'll go back to the Google Doc here. Do you want to take this, John? This was yours.
Oh yeah, you know, if you need evidence that we are in the end of whatever this societal order is, look no further than this retard right here. This moron from Young Turks has now come to the conclusion that 9/11 was an inside job.
How many years later? 25?
25 years later, he is, you know, hitting all of the right talking points, you know, the passports, World Trade Center, Building 7, and to my normie friends, it's you dumb shit. But now he's claiming this. Now he's believing it. He's woken up to the official story of 9/11. And
yeah,
anyone who does know Chank's a dumbass. He is very, very stupid. He's not very intelligent. He was very manipulated, in my view, by the entire political narrative from 2016 to now.
Yeah.
And he's trying to reinvent himself, and you know, done at least a pretty good job, because he, you know, hated on the Jays a lot, and that's what got him, you know, a little bit welcomed back into.
That'll get you votes and views these days.
Yeah, but like if someone like him is starting to like wake up to the reality of 9/11, it's evident that like this system's not holding together.
Right.
It's just not.
Yeah.
And I don't know what more to say about that. I'm curious to your thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're watching a movie with your slow cousin, right, who has a little bit of the syndrome, and they look at you and, you realize the movie's retarded, right? But when the retard tells you it's retarded, you're like, damn it, okay, we got to stop watching. Like, we've got to stop watching.
Yeah.
That's what this makes me think.
Yeah.
It's the yeah. I don't even have anything past that to say. Like, it's when the slowest person catches on, wakes up, catches up to the pack. You're like, okay, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, like he's espousing a lot of the same stuff like James Corbett was talking about in 2008.
20 years ago.
In his like epic documentary, like 5-part series on 9/11.
Right.
Chank's now seeing that. When like 20 years ago when this shit was happening, I'm sure he was just like laughing at that, and like, what the hell, dude?
It's
What
completely
the hell?
ridiculous. I don't know if this is a ploy of his to like get a little bit more publicity.
Maybe, but
it's a really dumb one, and it appears to have worked. This tweet has 7.8 million views, so I guess it's worked. So maybe I shouldn't criticize him for trying to do this to get people's attention, but it's clearly retarded. There are people who have been saying this for decades. You're only going to make yourself look like a moron coming back out and saying, oh, by the way, I think 9/11 was an inside. Oh, really? Was it, you faggot? Like, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you say this, you little bitch, say this on like October of 2003 and see how there were people who were doing it back then. Not me, I was 10, but there were people doing it back then, taking the hits.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're talking about the most patriotic this motherfucking country's ever been.
Yeah.
Right? We had blue-haired liberals singing Dale Yan going to NASCAR concerts saying fuck the terrorists, right? And so like that's the most patriotic this country's ever been. And people took the hit for that, and this son of a bitch is coming along 25 years later saying, oh, by the way, I think it's weird that some people with some box cutters took over some planes. And you know what? It's a little strange that there was no plane debris around the Pentagon. It's a little odd. And so, maybe it was. Maybe it was. It did not take 25 years to figure that out, you cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, but looking at his second tweet here, I mean, this is going to be the downstream effects of, as we've been talking about the Epstein shit, maybe it's the key to kind of maybe start letting all of these other kind of little narratives unravel,
And maybe so, but I want to point something out here. His tweet says, why am I questioning now? That's obvious. We just found out our government was lying to us for decades about bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's what's retarded about this. I now know the government's lying because they told me they were.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the logic's really stupid, but that's the logic that normies operate under,
It's this what this represents is complete, like, if this is even real, right? If this guy is a real person out here tweeting these genuinely, right? I'm just assuming all of that, which is a big assumption. It's obviously a very big assumption, but if it is, like, that is the most complete, backwards, retarded logic, retarded reasoning I've ever heard, and it that gives, like, you're assuming that this thing that you're saying is lying to you is being truthful. Now, you're giving so much like power. You're attributing so much veracity to this organization, even as you're saying they're lying to you. Yeah. That is completely backwards, and that I feel like is very representative of the way a lot of the boomer generation, a lot of them think.
Yeah.
Right? You talk to a lot of those people and they're like, well, we found out that this was false because the government came out and said they were lying to us. And so that's how we know it's incorrect. Grandpa, you're fucking retarded. Get your head out of grandma's pussy and try again. Like, I don't know why I said that. That was one of the weirder things I've said on this show. I apologize. But it's such a ridiculous thing to think, and a lot of people just aren't aware of the complete logical fallacy that exists. I'm sure it has like a really pretentious name. I don't know what it is, but I'm sure a lot of people aren't aware of the complete logical fallacy that is of saying, I know you were lying to me because you told me you were.
Yeah.
And so now I know that other stuff is also, that you tell me is likely true. Now I can trust you. It's completely retarded.
Yeah.
Completely.
It's a crazy way to just unravel all of this, though.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's so strange. It's so strange. And speaking of, high level pedophiles and sex trafficking, shout out to Neff Hunter for sending us this video. He tagged it as for use in Touch Me Tuesday, so I couldn't help but play it. That same grandfather we're talking about.
Where did
Johnny, you gonna click on it? It is the one that's tagged Grandpa Llama's got an erection. Okay, I don't know how you could miss that.
I thought that was that one.
If you're ever wondering if you're ever wondering what a child rapist grandfather looks like, or what a priest probably looks like while he has an erection up at the front next to the altar boys, this is exactly what's going on. And it's uncomfortable, gross. People don't like hearing it. People don't like seeing it. And obviously we present it in kind of a comical light because that's the only way I can tolerate this stuff. But this is the type of shit that's going on, but way worse. This is the damn Dalai Lama doing what we're... Go ahead and play the video, John.
I really don't want to, but okay.
L sound?
I mean, is there sound on it?
Yeah. Oh. You've got to hear what he says.
No, fuck that.
All right. And everybody laughs and giggles because it's a fun joke from an old man in robes with an erect penis with a child on his lap because it's funny, it's silly. We're parading this in front of people, very obviously in front of people, and none of us are batting an eye. How weird is that? How weird is that? And that does make me wonder about some of the weird. I don't know. I see a lot of like kids sitting on Santa's lap and some of this stuff that gets kids really comfortable with being weirdly close to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on with that? Are we making it normal for a kid to walk up and be handled by a stranger? That's the first thing I thought when I saw this. And kids when you make people are go give grandpa a kiss. Kids that are clearly afraid. That's one of the things that makes me the most uncomfortable is I've been in social situations where grandma, grandpa, Uncle Ted, kids don't like them for some reason. They don't want to give grandma, grandpa a hug. And maybe your kid's an asshole. Sometimes that's true, right? Your kid's an asshole. Make him go give grandma a hug. She deserves it, right? There are moments though where a kid knows something you don't. And I don't even know how parents figure that shit out. Mm-hmm. But your kid's not fully retarded. Maybe they don't want to hug grandpa because he's creepy as fuck. Maybe he hasn't touched the kid, but he's certainly a piece of shit. Maybe the kid's noticed, something in grandpa's personality that you weren't aware of. Kids are a lot more perceptive than we give them credit for. And you'll notice, right? All of these sons of bitches are in the background, laughing. Oh, so cute. Guess who didn't want to, suck on old boy's tongue over here? Guess who was wildly uncomfortable? The kid.
Right.
The kid knows. All of these people have been conditioned to think it's cute. For a long time. And shit, I don't want to leave it there. But again, this is the last thing I had. What a sad place to leave it. You know what's not sad? Guys, we have a Patreon special going right now. 33% off, okay? And so if you like the show, if you want more of the show, if you want some bonus streams, some unedited episodes, we're going to start doing show reactions after the show. I'm very excited about that. I think that's going to be a ton of fun. Go check out the Patreon. It's $2 a month right now. It's not going to get any cheaper than that. The go live date is March 1st, so get in while you can. What a terrible place for me to do this ad.
Yeah, you've really fucked that up twice.
Yeah,
in the past couple of streams.
I'm gonna do better the next stream, John. I'll do better.
These closeouts very well. Jeez.
I'll work. Yeah, I'll focus on the close of the stream next time to try to do better. But our stream, go check out the Patreon early bird special, $2. Links in the bio. I think John hopefully also has a QR code up right now. I don't know if he does or not. But he said he made one, so you can point your phone at that QR code and get on the Patreon. So go check that out. If you haven't followed us on all the socials, go follow us on Twitter, please. Our got nuked. We're still trying to build that up. We are poor single men trying to make this show work. So every little bit helps. Every follow helps. If you're watching on YouTube, Rumble, Twitter, wherever, follow the stream. And if you need something to listen to while your boss is being an asshole at work, okay, we are on all the audio platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music. If you're a faggot, go check us out there. We are on all of those. And so give us a listen. For folks who are interested in keeping up with the show, we do Touch Me Tuesdays every Tuesday, 7 p.m. We haven't missed a beat lately. We're going to try to keep not missing a beat. And then we do have a show scheduled with Jules from Grey Pilled on March 28th, or not March 28th, excuse me, February 28th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Jules is a genuinely brilliant human being. That show is going to be great. And so we're looking forward to that, looking forward to having him on and chatting with him again. So, I guess that's about it. We do have some new stuff coming down the pipe. Stay tuned for those announcements. We've got some new segments coming. We just announced one in the stream with Tyler, the bonus stream that's on Patreon. So if you want to know more about that, go join the Patreon and listen to that show. And then we have a couple of new things that we're getting started trying to film here currently. So very excited to see those. So, all right, John, anything else? Did I miss anything?
I do not think so.
All right. Bet. Well, folks, thanks for listening. We appreciate it. You guys are the best, and we will catch you guys next time.